one day somebody does something unspeakable to someone else, to someone you hardly knew, and you do something about it because you can.
This story comes to us from the Des Moines Register. Republican legislation advancing in the Iowa House would make it a felony offense if police fail to comply with the state's laws requiring cooperation with U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement. House Study Bill 285 says any law enforcement officer or elected sheriff who intentionally fails to comply with Iowa's immigration enforcement laws, Iowa Code Chapter 227A, will be charged with a Class D felony, punishable up to 5 years in prison and stripped of their law enforcement academy certification. The bill advanced out of a House subcommittee Wednesday. Opponents called the legislation too overbroad and put officers who could make an unintentional mistake in jail. But House Judiciary Committee Chair Representative Steve Holt, he's a Republican out of Denison, said the legislation is clear and a fair penalty for the crime. Said, quote, I don't know if you've ever been in a school class and everybody gets chewed out for something one kid did. Well, that's kind of the penalty in the bill right now, kind of punishes everybody in a county or city for something one official might have done. So this is more targeted to the person who's actually responsible for it. And I like that. Now, he said potentially adjusting the penalty to a misdemeanor will be a discussion among the House Judiciary Committee's lawmakers. Representative Lindsey James, a Democrat out of Dubuque, said the bill would complicate ongoing federal immigration efforts. Quote, we've asked our law enforcement to do a lot, handle a lot, and it's already difficult to recruit and retain law enforcement. And so when hearing from them and their concerns, I think we need to have a lot more robust conversations about what this could look like. That's according to James. Tony Phillips, a lobbyist with the Iowa State Sheriffs and Deputies Association, who is the only person to testify at the subcommittee, said officers would be penalized under the bill for actions such as failing to send information or requesting or receiving information from ICE. Quote, I think this might be the most significant and most open for interpretation here. If you fail at providing enforcement assistance, whether that's reasonable or necessary, and so you think about these different factors under 27A, and I understand the law that puts knowingly and intentionally into this, but there are situations that reasonable minds could disagree about what was needed to follow this law, said Holt. Now, he's not interested in hypotheticals or nitpicking the bill's language. Quote, any officer sworn to uphold the law who would dare suggest the concerns about imaginary lawsuits and details or in language and trump the safety of the Lakins and Jocelyn's out there, I have to call BS, said Holt. That was the deaths of Lakin Riley and Jocelyn Nungare, whose killers charged with their murders were illegal immigrants. The bill's discussion brought up an ongoing state investigation of Winneshiek County Sheriff Dan Marks, who posted on social media that his office would not comply with requests from ICE to hold residents on detainers. Governor Kim Reynolds filed a complaint to Attorney General Brenna Byrd's office after his post that Marks violated Iowa Code Chapter 27A, which require law enforcement to comply with U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement detainment requests. Holt said last Tuesday, after a House Judiciary Committee meeting, the bill charging law enforcement for failing to comply is in response to making sure that our law has teeth and that our law enforcement also know that they better comply with the law. Representative Skylar Wheeler said at the subcommittee, he's a Republican, he said at the meeting that the bill is being brought up because of an individual who made an absolute ridiculous statement. Not only did he put his county at risk of losing funds, but he put his county at risk of increasing crime. The law comes after Holt said that a bill that would have required police to cooperate with U.S. immigration and customs enforcement operations wouldn't move forward. He said it was thrown out because of concerns from law enforcement officials about having the available manpower under the legislation without affecting coverage of public safety. Holt said he's not aware of a Senate companion bill for the new immigration related legislation. The bill will have to advance out of the House Judiciary Committee to become a law because of the legislative funnel. And yeah, legislative. People are going to go, you don't know how to talk. I have an accent, I guess. But yeah, so they're really, really coming down on the federal immigration laws and these things that the president is bringing from ICE and, of course, maybe even the Department of Homeland Security. I mean, and what gets me, and I get the argument. Okay, I'm done here, but I just want to add this. I get the argument that when you have somebody killed by an undocumented alien, or what we call an illegal immigrant, I get that people go, oh, see, another illegal immigrant killed someone. Yeah, but what about the number of American citizens born here that kill people and get light sentences? And sometimes it happens. Saying